What's up, fellow donuts? Today we're talking about health savings accounts. You gotta have one. You gotta have one. Listen, I thought I was like the healthiest guy ever a year and a half ago. I always came out smelling like roses, doing checkups and stuff. They never find something wrong. Probably because they just like tincture patella tendon or whatever, and that's it. But then I developed some weird neurological condition that I'm still dealing with. I had a spinal tap last week, and it makes me really wish I had set up a health savings account when I turned 18 years old. Why? Well, let me tell you all the benefits and some of the drawbacks of a health savings account. A health savings account is very similar to an individual brokerage account, but it has tax benefits in that whatever you deposit into a health savings account is tax deductible. So for the year of 2023, which if you live under a rock is the current year, the max contribution limit is $3,850, which is tax deductible. So when you deposit that into your health savings account, preferably with Fidelity, we'll get to that in a second, it is tax deductible at the end of the year, which is great. You might have a larger tax return or have a smaller tax liability. That's awesome. So that's one tax benefit of a health savings plan, is that you don't have to pay taxes on that money, that income that you earned. The second benefit is you can pay for pretty much any medical expense and from your health savings account, and it will be tax free. So you can withdraw it, pay for I don't know, a heart transplant, whatever, a brain transplant, probably for most of you. And that will be covered using your health savings account, take a withdrawal and cover it. And you won't have to pay taxes on that. So what happens in between those things, your deposit and your withdrawal to pay for a health event, is monetary growth, capital gains. So if you do it with Fidelity, some other places have limitations, but with Fidelity, you can invest in basically anything. You can do bonds, CDs, ETFs, stocks. You're pretty much unlimited in any asset class that you can invest in a health savings account. And you might be thinking, well, what if you went and bought a bunch of stocks? You deposited $3,850, and then you bought a bunch of stocks, and they went down 50%, and then you had to have a brain transplant because you're a smooth brain. Don't worry about it, because there's no limit on paying yourself back later. In other words, you might pay $2,000 on a credit card for a brain transplant, and then 5 years from now, your health savings account has now grown, and you can take that capital gains and reimburse yourself. So you pay now and reimburse yourself later, and there's no limit to that. You could literally, as long as you kept the receipt, you could literally do that like when you're 60. And so you can take all these capital gains, withdraw it, and pay for that whatever health event thing you had, and it is tax free. So tax deductible when it goes in, tax free when it covers a health issue, a medical expense, and you can reimburse yourself whenever. So you can let it grow forever if you're doing financially okay, and then reimburse yourself later. You can let medical stuff stack up and then reimburse yourself big time later, tax free with capital gains. So that's awesome. And then when you turn 65, you can, it basically turns into an individual brokerage account. You can take withdrawals out of it and into your bank account without having any sort of medical problems. It'll just be taxed like it would a normal individual brokerage account. While the money's in your health savings account, you can trade tax free. So it's similar to a Roth in that way, except if you live in California and in New Jersey. If you live in those two states, they hate you. You can't trade tax-free within the account. It'd be trading like a normal individual brokerage account. You basically want to max it out every year, because you never know when something's going to come and bite you in the butt, like it did me. Thankfully, I had a community that rallied behind me and helped support me financially through a very difficult time that is still going. I mean, I had a spinal tap last week. We have a very important appointment coming up, but having a health savings plan is a hedge against something going wrong now. Having a Roth is great, and I'm all for maxing out your Roth, but I would do a health savings plan first, max that out first, and then do your IRAs, because it protects you now, and your health is the most important thing. There's all those benefits. There are drawbacks, which is you can't just withdraw willy-nilly. If you do, you can get imposed a 20% penalty, tax, or fee. And then you also pay ordinary income taxes on any capital gains, whether it's short or long term. Usually that's only for short term. However, when you're 65, you can withdraw it and it can be long-term capital gains taxes that you're paying. There's no reason you shouldn't be contributing to it, because if something goes wrong, you can pay it now and then reimburse yourself later, or you could use a debit card and sell some securities and pay for your health problems. And I need to mention, I really should have mentioned this at the very beginning of this video, you could only open a health savings account if you have a high deductible plan, which is probably a lot of people because it has low premiums. But you might want to check with your provider if you have a high deductible plan. And actually, if I Google it really quick, let's see what the IRS has to say about it. For 2022, so it might be different for 2023, but it's similar. The IRS defines a high deductible health plan as any plan with a deductible of at least $1,400 for an individual or $2,800 for family. And also should mention that that $3,850 that you'd pay, that's the max contribution limit for 2023. It's the larger if you have a family health plan. So let's look that up really quick. 2023 is $3,850 for an individual health plan. It's high deductible, and then $7,750 for family coverage. And those increase year over year to keep up with inflation. So who should you open up a health savings plan with? Well, in my opinion, and I'm unaffiliated, I'd do it with Fidelity because they have the most freedom as far as what you can invest in. And you also, I believe it's 2.7% in uninvested cash. I'm doing a video and doing the research as I'm going here. Fidelity. I did a write-up on TradingView about this that you can look up and you can read through it. It's in my link tree down below. I encourage you to sign up. If you do sign up for Pro Plus, that'll give you the most bang for your buck. Max contribution, HSA, what the heck was I talking about? Oh, Fidelity, HSA, uninvested cash. So here's my TradingView write-up. Look at that cool font I made. Very proud of myself. And they have a 2.21% APY on uninvested cash. So if you want to view it as just like an actual savings account and not be like YOLOing all your money and stuff, fine. You can leave your money in there and collect whatever I just said, 2.something% APY, and just leave it in there for whenever you have any sort of medical problems, because everybody's going to encounter a medical problem. If you live old enough, you're going to get cataracts. That's just a fact. I worked at an eye clinic. If you reach a certain age, those lenses and those little pretty eyes of yours that reach your optic nerves and are crossed and attached to your smooth brain, they grow hard and they grow gray and brown, and they have to get removed and replaced with clear lenses, artificial lenses that help you see. So if you live long enough, that's going to happen. And if you have a health savings plan, it's going to be no big deal. You'll meet your deductible and your insurance will cover the rest. And you'll pay using capital gains instead of your own money, which is great. And there's, everyone's going to encounter medical problems. Down below in the description is a Linktree link. You can find some useful, interesting, free money stuff down there. But you can also find the TradingView link that leads you to TradingView, where you can follow me. And there you can see my posts about the HSAs, so you can see all the limitations and all that. Otherwise, this is in the money. I love you guys very much in a special and unique way. Each of you. It's not usually how I say it, but signing off.